And so I'd like to show you a little creative poem that one of these kids wrote. It's a palindrome, and a palindrome is a group of words or a phrase of words that you can read one way, the same letters, but if you read it backwards and reverse it, it has a different meaning. And so this is called Lost Generation. And let me get to it here, and then
I am part of a lost generation.
And I refuse to believe that I can change the world.
I realize this may be a shock, but happiness comes from within is a lie.
And money will make me happy.
So in 30 years, I will tell my children that they are not the most important thing in my life.
My employer will know that I have my priorities straight.
Because work is more important than family.
I tell you this, once upon a time, families stayed together, but this will not be true in my era.
This is a quick fix society.
Experts tell me 30 years from now I will be celebrating the 10th anniversary of my divorce.
I do not concede that I will live in a country of my own making.
In the future, environmental destruction will be the norm.
No longer can it be said that my peers and I care about this earth.
It will be evident that my generation is apathetic and lethargic. It is foolish to presume that there is hope.
And all of this will come true unless we choose to reverse it.
Here's the palindrome.
There is hope. It is foolish to presume that my generation is apathetic and lethargic.
It will be evident that my peers and I care about this earth.
No longer can it be said that environmental destruction will be the norm.
In the future, I will live in a country of my own making.
I do not concede that in 30 years from now I'll be celebrating the 10th anniversary of my divorce.
Experts tell me this is a quick fix society, but this will not be true in my era. Families stayed together once upon a time. I tell you this,
Family is more important than work.
I have my priorities straight because
My employer will know that they are not the most important thing in my life.
so in 30 years, I will tell my children,
Money will make me happy is a lie, and happiness comes from within.
I realize this may be a shock, but I can change the world.
And I refuse to believe that I am part of a lost generation.
Okay. Isn't that creative? That's the energy that we're going to, and these kids are saying. They are peacemakers. They are pioneers. They are student-centered. And we have to find ways to really continue to connect with them. And so we're going to talk about that today in terms of ways to connect with all kids and creativity with the lost generation. So the parent shift. So what's changing? Well, human nature. Those kids are talking about it right there in that poem. Human nature is changing. The way we look at being a human being, our perception of reality, with the way we look at things, human consciousness. Edmonton, what a vision you have to be here on a Saturday and talk about our future children and the caretakers of those children. When I heard that, you guys are paradigm pioneers in this. When I heard you are doing this, I was just so excited to be a part of that. And then when I heard that it was organized and you have this amount of people being a part of that, is you get it. You are the wise pioneers here, and you're changing that. You're changing the perception of parenting and how we parent. And what is it that a human being will do intuitively that they really haven't done before? What is it that the children are asking us to do, empowering us to do? They're empowering us to create unity. They're empowering us to unify, to work together. This is the energy that they're bringing through. How are they doing that? Well, they're not doing it by separation, because they know deep in their heart, in their cells, that separation steps on hope for humanity, and unity is the survival of humanity. They find a way to unite. In Wisconsin, we've gone through all kinds of protests with our educational systems and our public schools, and in Egypt and the revolution over there. These kids are finding a unity of support all over the planet. I bet if you look in Canada and how they're unifying, how they're doing it, they're reaching out a way to do it. So they're doing it in the way that they know best. and the way that we are learning, that they're teaching us through technology, through the Facebook effect. The Facebook effect, these kids have unified. This is the digital generation that is using technology in a way to build and help humanity. Now, there are so many differences of technology. It can be used in a negative way or a positive way, but I believe that these kids are really using it in a positive way. And a lot of times in my office, when I talk to children, I use discernment with technology. I do this whole thing on technology and what you're doing in putting your digital footprint out there, what you're doing and talking to other people, you have to be aware. But when it comes to the energy of these kids, is we're creating unity and we're gardening the revolution of the mind. We're gardening what's happening with this shift. And you are the gardeners. You're nourishing children. You're here for a purpose today. Nourishing, giving light, helping plant the seed for these wonderful children. So that's the discussion we're going to have today. Now, how are we going to do that? Well, there's my seed, one of my many. Patrick, is I want to challenge you to get out there and find someone that you can plant. So let's go into the nuts and bolts. Okay, this is really nice, Rob, but what about skills? I want tools. I want skills. So we're going to talk about the 5 parenting styles, the 4 pillars of parenting wellness, 3 strategies that build emotional literacy and heart intelligence, 2 empowerment in action techniques, and 1 empowered gift. Let's talk about parenting skills and parenting styles first. This comes a lot from Love and Logic. I've been trained on Love and Logic, and I've been teaching parenting with Love and Logic classes for over 10 years. How many people in here are familiar with the concept Love and Logic? Oh my gosh. Okay, 1. Good. This is a real great way and a great philosophy that works with families and kids. I'm doing a breakout on it later. But Jim Fay and Love and Logic Institute talk about 3 parenting styles, and I've created 5. So let's talk about the parenting styles. This is number 1 on your little sheet there. Drill sergeant. What is the type of parent that is a style that is a drill sergeant? Well, a drill sergeant is the one parent that commands and directs the lives of children. It's my way or the highway. You're going to get in that car now, and I mean it. The bus is leaving now. This is my house, and we abide by my rules. Mom said so. So the drill sergeant has worked 50 years ago. The drill sergeant did work. I talked to parents, and I had a grandparent couple in my parenting course, and they said, well, my kids that worked, and my kids just turned out great. I don't get it. I go, yes, they did. Because you were a person that was there for them, that loved them unconditionally, and you held them to the fire, and at the same time, you use these parenting strategies. But today's world, the information that these kids are getting today, and the amount of information that they have, and the type of intelligences that they have, it's really not working. So when you hear these parenting styles, ask yourself, kind of where do I fit in? And, oh, I know my mom and dad was that, or I know I had a grandpa or grandpa like that. All right, let's look at the next parenting style. Number 2 is the helicopter. It says number 1, but it's number 2. The helicopter parent. Anybody that's a mom or dad at one time has been a helicopter. They hover over the child and rescue the child from the hostile world. The message that they're sending is they're giving in. What's a helicopter parent? A helicopter parent is coming in with that lunch. I've got my lunch for you, honey. Did you forget your lunch? Here it is. Helicopter parent is didn't get their homework done, and all of a sudden, oh, you didn't get it done. Don't worry, let me help you with it. Here, I'll do the first 5 and you do the last sentence. Helicopter parent is the parent that gets online. At our school, we have a power school where you can check the grades and everything and check to see where they're doing. Actually, you can check to see what they're eating for lunch. Everything's being online in the digital world. through Power School. And all of a sudden, this parent was checking every 5 minutes. They call me up and says, Amanda's not, didn't turn in assignment 3. And I said, the teachers haven't graded it yet. And I was just making sure that, the teachers have prep time in the afternoon, they'll grade it. And, I was just looking on Power School and she hasn't turned in. She'll talk to you when you get home. It's okay. You can choose to either look at it or you can choose to talk to her tonight. Thanks for calling. Bye. So that's the second parenting style. Let's talk about the third parenting style. This is one that I've added with the love and logic. It's the digital parent. Whew. Aren't we living in the digital age with that right now? We haven't seen this 10, 15, 20 years ago. The parent uses technology and replaces parenting moments with children. What's the message there? The message is giving parent power to the digital wonderland with this style. What's that? Well, I asked a kindergarten teacher. She was in one of my graduate classes in teacher leadership, and I asked her, how many kids in your class have TVs, VCRs, or DVDs in their bedroom? How many do you think she said? 98% in their bedroom. And I said, and are they doing educational videos that you send home with them? She said, no, it's usually Disney, or it's usually something else. Now, there's a fine balance with the digital parent because knowing my 2 children, there are times when you're on a road trip and knock it off, just plug them in. There's a balance with that. But the whole key is to keep an awareness and be aware that you do not replace those wonderful parenting moments with technology. I find ways when we get together with birthday parties or doing different things. We just celebrated a birthday party at our house, and instead of all the kids playing Wii or doing video games or doing whatever, which is a lot of fun, I said, we're going to get the kids outside and we're going to do a scavenger hunt. And so we created this big Minnie Mouse puzzle about 3 feet, and then each puzzle piece, there were about 40 of them, were hidden in the backyard. And they had to go find a scavenger hunt. And in the backyard, they had to break up into teams and work together. And of course, they wanted to be the boy cousins against the girl cousins. But then they had to go out and to find these pieces of the puzzle. And then they had to bring them back, and they had to put the pieces of puzzle together. And they had to use their brains and their minds and their teamwork. And boy, did they love that. They got to play, and we're going to talk about that. They got to problem solve, and we're going to talk about that. They got to be kids. All right, the fourth style is the consultant. The consultant is the love and logic parent that provides guidance and consult services for the child. Really gives choices, lots and lots of choices. Like, would you rather wear your coat or carry it? The coat thing is always a big thing, especially if it's cold. I don't want to wear my coat. Give choices. The consultant parent gives lots of choices. I want to eat that. I want to eat that. You can have it now or you can have it in the morning. You choose. The parent consult gives choices and in a loving guidance way. This sucks, man. I don't want to stay after school and do homework. Well, you know, you can do your homework tonight, or you can stay in 6th grade another year. What do you want to do? I'd love to have you here. I love working with you. You know, you can be in 6th grade twice. You can be the only kid that's done 6th grade twice this year. I'm going to stay after school. The consultant. And when I talk about parents, I'm talking about educators. I'm talking about grandparents. I'm talking about anybody that cares and loves children.